Prologue. Troll Sengar is dragged by his own Aedorkin along the flooded remains of a drowned city where a catastrophic war and sundering has unleashed a foreign river and drowned an entire people. Although the rent has closed, the devastation remains. Troll is chained to a massive sorcerous wall built to hold back the sea. His brothers formally shorn him, cutting his flesh, branding him with ash, destroying his braid, and applying a substance that will make him permanently bald. The ritual erases his name, history, and existence from Aedor memory, marking him as an outcast worse than dead. His crime is speaking against his brother's ambition and defending newly discovered Aedor enemies. His accusers justify his punishment as necessary to prevent betrayal and preserve their growing empire. Abandoned and immobilized, Troll reflects that his brother has broken the natural balance. He believes the flood will return, and that his people will ultimately share his fate. Book 1, Faces in the Rock, in Chapter 1, Karsa Orlong, a young Teblor warrior of the Urid clan, vows before the Faces in the Rock to raid Silver Lake and restore his people's lost glory. Rejecting his father Sinig's passivity, Karsa leaves his village with Delimthord and Byrothgild. Unbeknownst to them, the 7 gods of the Teblor are false gods manipulating events, and they mark Karsa as a potential instrument of their freedom. The 3 warriors cross into Rathid territory, choosing open violence rather than stealth. Karsa leads brutal attacks on Rathid camps and villages, deliberately allowing survivors to spread terror and provoke pursuit. He engineers conflict between the Rathid and Sunid clans and captures a pack of dogs, forcing their leader into submission. In a major ambush on a raised walkway, Karsa's tactics and ferocity rout a Rathid war party. Byroth fully commits to following Karsa as war leader as their campaign escalates. In Chapter 2, Karsa Orlong, Byrothgild, and Delimthord move through abandoned Rathid and Sunid lands, discovering evidence of an ancient catastrophe and deserted villages. They shelter in a cave where carvings reveal that the Teblor tribes were deliberately divided long ago under the laws of isolation, taught by Acarium, to survive extinction after defeat by the Talan Imas. Karsa rejects the meaning of the discovery, while Byroth and Delim believe it explains Teblor decline. The trio later free a being trapped beneath a stone, believing it a demon, but it reveals itself as a Forquerel assail named Calm. She effortlessly defeats them, crippling Delim mentally, killing their dogs, and declaring Karsa pivotal to future events. Pressing on towards Silver Lake, the Teblor attack lowlanders and discover the Sunid were enslaved. At Silver Lake, Karsa's raid escalates into a massacre, but he is captured by Malazans. Byroth is executed, Delim dies, and Karsa is enslaved, vowing vengeance. In Chapter 3, Karsa Orlong is transported in chains with Torvald Nam as a Malazan prisoner, bound for the Oteteral mines. Karsa pretends to be brain damaged to survive and plan escape. During transport by sea, a supernatural storm destroys the Malazan ship, killing the crew. Karsa and Torvald survive on wreckage and drift into a shattered Warren Sea filled with wrecked ships and giant predators. They scavenge supplies, Karsa regains strength, and together they fight off massive catfish and sharks. They encounter and seize a black ship crewed by Tista Endi, whom Karsa slaughters. Escaping by dory, they reach land near a massive stone wall breached by a flood. Forced to cooperate with the weakened slave master Silgar, they pass through a sorcerous gate and emerge on the 7 cities' coast. Karsa and Torvald meet Bayanrock, who shelters them. Karsa begins questioning his gods and resolves to seek truth before returning to his people. In Chapter 4, Karsa Orlong and Torvald Nam are captured on the 7 cities' coast by Arak tribesmen working with the slave master Silgar. Karsa is brutally beaten and nearly loses his hands and feet to tight shackles. Torvald starts a fire to panic the Arak, drawing the Graal, who massacre the camp. Silgar and Damask flee with Karsa through sorcery, but are arrested by Malazan soldiers. Karsa is imprisoned and marked with a facial tattoo, then chained for transport to the Oteteral mines. Torvald survives his throat wound and returns with Graal allies, slaughtering the guards and freeing Karsa. A blue-eyed native escapes with Karsa, leading him through secret tunnels out of Erliton. Malazan pursuers follow, including Silgar and Damask. Karsa attacks the camp, kills many soldiers, mutilates Silgar, and escapes into the desert. The native reveals Karsa is Thelomen Toblakai and leads him toward Raraku and Shaik. Book 2, Cold Iron. In Chapter 5, the Malazan command in Urin begins consolidating forces after the Chain of Dogs. Gamut, newly made fist, oversees the arrest of Squint,